Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and add another one. Detective publishes book exposing high-level government pedophile ring shot in the head days later. A former police detective and author of a bombshell book that exposed a massive pedophile ring made up of high-level government officials was found shot in the head last week. While officials are calling it an apparent suicide, his family is claiming that he told them he would never kill himself and that people were after him because he was about to expose even more high-level government pedophilia. Mark Minnie, author of the controversial book The Lost Boys of Bird Island, devoted his post-police life to exposing the corruption and horrifying pedophilia he discovered while working as a detective. Minnie and his good friend Chris Stein, also a former cop turned investigative journalist, worked together on the book to expose a government and business community who took children to Bird Island where they were abused and some possibly murdered. The book details their level of involvement in the pedophile ring, abuse of the children, alleged acts of murder to cover up the crimes, as well as corruption and abuse of high-level state resources by the network's members. The book details the corruption within the last apartheid government of South Africa and implicated officials all the way to the top, including Defense Minister Magnus Malan and the Minister of Environmental Affairs, John Wiley. Before his death, Minnie announced that he was approached by many more people with even more damning evidence, which he planned to reveal in a sequel to the book. However, he died before he could finish it. The book was published earlier this month on August 5th, and only 9 days later, Minnie was found dead. Officials claim they found a suicide note at the scene, but his family says they don't believe it at all. Tercia Dodo, a family member of Minnie, had told reporters that just days before he died, that if anything happened to him, they must know he was killed. He mentioned to us all the time that his life was in danger, and if anything did happen to him, we must know it was done to him, not by himself, she said. Dodo says Minnie was being watched and feared for his life because he had more information which would have exposed even more people. I knew about the book for many years, and I knew what he had been through. It really played on him that he had seen and been involved with the investigation surrounding the book, Dodo told SABC. Dodo came forward on her own after she saw the suicide narrative being played out in the media. She says she was compelled to do so to dispel the myths. Mark was not a coward. Mark faced life head on, she said. There is no way that I or any of us believed that he would not, or that he would have opted out, and this is why I agreed to do this interview to dispel any thoughts and rumors of suicide. He was not the type of man that was cowardly and that would do anything or do something like that. As for the note police allegedly found next to Minnie's body, Dodo believes it is either a fake or was written under duress. I have said this from the beginning. The supposed suicide note was either written under duress, and I would like to see it before I will believe it was written by Mark, she said. The case is eerily similar to a man that was allegedly murdered in Lithuania after he began exposing high-level government pedophiles. As TFTP previously reported, teenage refugee from Lithuania came forward last year with a White House petition and a damning testimony showing what happened after his family tried to expose a little girl's abusers. When his 4-year-old cousin accused two high-level government officials, describing it in heartbreaking detail, Carolus Venkeni learned the hard way how the government protects its vilest members, up to and including using hundreds of militarized police and even murder. As Venkeni explained in his petition on whitehouse.gov, the nightmare started when their family attempted to seek justice for the sick man who allegedly raped his 4-year-old cousin. In 2008, 4-year-old Demente Kadit described her sexual assault by high-level Lithuanian officials. Her testimony was later verified as true by 4 separate commissions. She never had her day in court, Benkeni wrote. When the teen's uncle, Dracius Kadis, Demonte's father, pushed for the men to be prosecuted for what they did to his daughter, he was murdered. If Minnie was actually murdered, hopefully the information he was planning on releasing still comes forward. The only way to stop these vile actors is to shine light into the darkness. While Minnie has been silenced, his work can live on to be that light. This is a sickening and growing trend in the news. From Seth Rich, to this man, to the family from Lithuania, to so many others. I I often wonder how people can even believe it's suicide when they are about to expose people who need to go to jail. I can tell you right here and now, I have never been the type of person to say, well, yeah, it just happened that way. I've never been that type. When I looked at Seth Rich before all the hubbub started, and I saw that he was shot in the back of the head, I could tell you it was not suicide. One, there would have been a massive rig found. You cannot successfully shoot yourself in the back of the head. It's just not possible. Okay? When I saw Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia had died, he was not an old man. He was in, by all reports, all but perfect health and mysteriously died. And there was an order from the highest level of the U.S. government that no autopsy be performed. That just screams cover up. I can tell you right now that if someone tells you I'm not suicidal, unless, of course, they have a propensity for self-harm or the like, someone tells you I'm not suicidal and they show up days later dead, believe them. Because we have case after case after case after case after case of supposed suicides of people who were just apparently days from releasing information about very high-level actors in our own government. And then they turn up having so-called committed suicide. We have a cancer in the world society today, and that is very powerful people who have grown so used to their power they actually now truly believe they are so far above the law that anyone threatening to expose their depravity, they have a right to kill. Although that begs the question why they always play it off that it was suicide. We've seen scenes in television shows and in movies where someone rushes to say suicide, but we later find out that the person was hanged while their hands were bound behind their back and their feet were strapped together with a weight pulling them down. Yes, that's a fanciful tale from a television show or movie. But it shows almost the norm from the corrupt, high-powered people that it doesn't matter what I do, I'll just have them say it was suicide. You could have someone who we have video of them being thrown into a volcano. Well, that was suicide. They paid the guy to throw him. He wanted to die, but he was still kind of scared. And the news will run with it. Like the author here, I can only hope, and granted this has been about 6 months, but I really hope the additional research that this gentleman was doing is released or just finds its way into the proper hands. I would say that would be Attorney General William Barr at this time. Although the Democrats are currently doing everything they can to silence Bill Barr and remove him from office because he will not obey them. You see, last week the House Judiciary called him to testify to the committee. After he agreed, they began changing almost daily who would be questioning him. When he basically said, until you have firm plans for a date when the committee members will question me, I will not attend. This all led to last week when Representative Cohen, who incidentally blocks everybody he doesn't want to hear from on Twitter, I believe that was declared unconstitutional, wasn't it? Sat a chicken on a table and sat joking, laughing, and eating KFC in the House chambers. They knew exactly what they were doing. And whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing as well. Because this man right here was murdered because he was going to expose people who have a propensity to abuse children. And those people honestly need to burn in the ninth circle of hell. But we also have a society where Democrats proclaiming the virtues of late-term abortion and then actually admitting that the child will be born, the cord cut, the child made comfortable. And then they'll find out if the mother wants the child to live or not, even though it's no longer her body. The child is now outside her body. And the child is left alone, scared, cold, and hungry, while people try to decide if he or she is allowed to live. So when a society praises that, it's no wonder that they praise this kind of crap. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. Keep it civil. As always, we do not learn from argument, we learn from debate. Also, please remember to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you will be among the first to know of any and all new content as it is posted. Pardon me. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.